And
here we all are. We're gonna play tonight. It's gonna happen. We'll play the whole thing. What are you guys drinking?
Water.
So sleepy.
What kind of water is it?
Tap water.
Yeah, boy. Want some Clark County fucking tap water. What about you, Andrea? What are you drinking?
Fiji water.
Hell yeah, it's some Fiji water. Ken?
I have some Evan Williams.
Dude, Evan Williams is fine. I cannot browbeat you tonight. I can't. Because I'm drinking Texas bourbon? I don't think this is bourbon. It tastes like a Manhattan. I was just telling them that. It's called Charles Goodnight.
Does it say bourbon on the bottle?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Yeah. And Drizzle?
I am drinking the good old-fashioned Natty Light.
Natty Light. Natty Nasty.
Yep.
That's fine. Well, if you guys want to know who our sponsor is, if you can guess, Holker.
Our sponsor is colonoscopies.
Thank you, Colonoscopy, for battling our happiness. Okay.
Colonoscopy, they're great. They're life-saving. It's life-saving stuff. So if it'll get your colon cancer screening today.
I mean, it can be. It can be.
That was funny. Oh, you get a narrative point. That's great. Okay. We are playing a Feint of Heart, which, if you want to go to DriveThruRPG, it's called a Keeping Cave. But we're going to change that name for version 2. I'm not going to read through this. We're just going to play it. So the preparation should be tier 2. Focus burning. I did not give you 3 backgrounds. I gave you 2. So, what are you guys' names? Let's do a quick character description. So, be your name and that little log line at the top of your sheet. We'll start with Andrea.
My character's name is Viola. And she is a creature. She is so you said we're going with I'm obviously not using the sheet. I wrote it all down. So
yeah,
we're going with their race and sort and all that.
Yeah, it's whatever you want to tell us.
She is a Dowling and a sibling. And she is from Daloon. Yeah, she's very mysterious. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it at that for now, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Shibleen or Shibleen, however you want to pronounce it. Silver hairs, night-skinned, and their favorite, the untouched. They are considered pure blood. How about Drizzle?
I am S76. I am a disciple who serves and follows.
S76.
I'm an Ophidian.
So a reptile person. They exist.
Yes.
What color are your scales?
My scales are green, but you can't see them because I wear this dark cloak of dragon scales, and they are black.
Hell, did you pick a dragon as your packed animal?
Yes, I did.
That's a whole DreadLore thing. That's a whole Craster thing. Whoa.
Yes,
that's bold.
Well, if you pay small attention, you can see some light reflecting occasionally from underneath the cloak.
I love it. So you're aware. The Zunths, which is the race that you've chosen, the Buto and the Ophidian or Zunths, they allowed themselves. So you have the Brilliant Octet. These are the deities, the powers of Craster. The Zunts don't. They revere and respect the Brilliant Octet, but they actually don't pray to them. They pray to the dragon gods. So, wearing the sort of vestige literally created from a pact lord, which was a dragon, that's either a high honor or high treason. So depending on how you broke out that armor, that's awesome. I love it.
It made
No,
sense
you're an
because
Ophidian. I want the voice.
it makes sense because it's the used skills as they shed them. So it's not from a dead dragon. It's from the live. It's from the live.
Holker.
I
Oh no.
am Potenza Shinko. I am a young Snjallfolk, Geraldine, from the Expanse. And I am a geologist of sorts. I collect gems, minerals, other things that people find magical. Maybe I find them magical at times as well.
I love it. Ken?
I play a character whose name is Blantant Fishmonger, who is a Doween sibling, Deloon. He's a hustler.
His name is Blantant Fishmonger.
Blantant
Blantant.
Fishmonger.
A blatant fishmonger.
Blantant Fishmonger. It's Pishmongait.
Planton. Fishmonger. Poisson manger. Okay, fine.
And if I may,
You may.
before we start, I would like to use my narrative point.
Okay. To not be in the game.
No. I think this will be more funny. So the spell book that Fishmonger had.
Fishmonger.
Yeah, instead of Agatha's spell book, it says Viole on it.
It would be kind of funny if you had her spellbook that you stole, but whatever. Okay.
It's Agatha Mule's grimoire of undeterminable magica. I heard a fart.
No, that was me crunching chips, probably.
Andrea, what is the name of your character again?
Yeah, everybody say their
Viola.
name. Viola?
Yeah, so Violle.
And Hulker?
Potenza Shinko.
What?
Potenza Shinko.
Oh, Potenza.
It's Esperanto for mighty ham.
I'll call you Hamster for short. Drizzle?
It's S76.
S76?
Yes.
Don't worry, there's a reason. Well, there's always a reason. All right. You all are in Craster, you're in Daloon, so the northern continent. It is cold. It's getting colder. You're in the mountains, the high mountains, just outside of the Bone Stone city of Calgary. This is this massive province-style or province-sized city. The lowest portions are industrial and steampunky filth. Think Blade Runner. Extremely overpopulated. It's called the Deck, and beneath the deck is Infra, where people live underground and, root out Urukai. On top of the deck, or I should say on the deck, there are entire regions of wasteland, of where parts of the city, this ancient city, have fallen into disuse and ruin, has overgrown. People have repurposed buildings and everything. And that's the deck. Beyond that are the floating isles of Calgary. And they are massive. There's several levels of them. And as you go higher and higher and higher into the atmosphere, you get richer and richer and more exclusive. You all have originated from different parts of the world. You all know about the Calgarian Empire. Some of you may be a part of the Calgarian Empire. Calgarians, you are, some of you. Regardless, you had found your way here and have lived here for a few seasons at least. One season is roughly 3 years. So been here for a while, established. Perhaps you owe money and now you have to leave. Perhaps you have stepped on the wrong people's toes, stolen from the wrong Aristasi, just been implicated in whatever. Perhaps your case was brought before a magistrate, maybe even before an executor, an imperial executor, one of the highest courts. Whatever happened, it did not go well. You greased the palms of who you needed to, perhaps you killed as you needed to, or slipped away using your intelligence, your cunning. But you are on the run, and they are after you. You will get no justice in Calgary for whatever reason. You've all found each other on your exodus. It is actually surprisingly difficult to get out of the Bonestone City. More difficult to get in, but as it's situated in the high up Canuck Mountains, and there's all manner of bandits and beasts and monsters lurking in the Canuck Mountains outside of the city, as well as the Ulek Legionnaires, the army that patrols, as well as bounty hunters and all manner of things. Getting out is actually surprisingly difficult, especially when you're a wanted person. We'll say that it's been a few weeks of you guys making your exit, and you started sort of getting together this group of people that maybe you don't trust, but you kind of have to. And over the course of a couple weeks and some close calls, you do gain this sort of trust. You're all trying to get out of here, and you heard of a way out. So you got to the deck, went through a few tunnels through infra, and pooped out into the wilderness. You're still technically in the lands, and you know you're probably being followed. Some sort of ranger, or perhaps a sheriff. Hopefully not a Morthingi. Morthingi are mage sheriffs, so they use the magicka. Maybe it's a band of mercenaries. You're not sure, but you're pretty sure that the guilds that you have pissed off have hired people to bring you in, likely dead or alive. But regardless, bad news bears. What will happen to you if you're brought back? Well, that's something for your nightmares, and you guys can bid to kind of figure out or even know. But we'll move on. Sitting around this small campfire in this forest, the terrain is rough. You guys have been traveling by goat path and overgrown path. These are tall, thick, canopied trees. They're coniferous, so evergreens, some oak, deciduous trees and such. Think of Red River Gorge. It's kind of like that, just cold. A little bit of frost on the ground. You got the campfire going, and as you have been preparing to hike up this steep hill, which leads to a rocky, snow-capped mountain. There's a rumor, and what you've been told, by the the person you paid off to tell you the way out, of an ancient cave nearby. Perhaps it's a day's hike, you're not really sure, and it's filled with all manner of things, supposedly with treasures. It is a lost, forgotten cave, and there's a ton of mythos about why there's treasure there. You know, Davy Jones put his shit there. You know, it was a building that fell over and turned into a cave. Vampires, who knows? People don't know. They just know it's really fucking dangerous. This land is forbidden where you are. So just by being here, you're breaking the law. It borders the untamed lands of the Warren to the north. And the government protects this wasteland, but no one truly knows why. So you're in that gray state. You're in the liminal state north of the Bonestone City in out of bounds territory. If you're found here, it's bad, even if you weren't on the run. Supposedly there's this cave at the top of, or near the top of this long hike. And if you can get through it, you can get into the untamed lands of the Warren, which is not safe at all. But the Ulek Legionnaires or bounty hunters probably won't go there. And maybe you can find bandits or mercenaries or an airship to get to GTFO. You're all around the campfire. We're in the montage. You may speak to one another.
If I only had my autumn ill, I could get us out very quickly.
Now you got it right over there. Somehow, you got it here.
Oh,
Look, is that it?
yes. It's amazing how I when I drink, sometimes I cannot see all these things in front of me. No, yes, that's it. It's so brilliant. It shimmers in the moonlight. Yes.
Indeed, it does shimmer. I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah, why don't you guys describe how did you get that automobile, that Thergic mobile out? What was the Ocean's 11 heist that you guys did to get out?
Well, I
remember when. So talk to them, but it's a remember when this and this and this happened, and then you guys keep on yes anding around.
You remember when I had that gemstone that people really thought was valuable, but it was just really well polished coal. Yeah, they bought it.
That was a good bribe, sir. I was impressed with your swindling ability. I don't think I could have left. This is my heart. This is my car. My automatron. This is my heart. I wouldn't have left anyway. And I salute you for all of your clever skills and the magic from this young lady. It's so impressive.
Yes, I remember when I teleported out of my cell and knocked the guard on the back of the head when he took the bribe.
That was pretty funny.
And the cunning lizard man. Yes. Oh, yes. That was cunning.
Those blasphemers. They should have never taken the curse. All it takes is one little piece, and the Great One will have them forever.
Jesus. As you're all sitting there, as it turned out, the last leg of your adventure, you had another person with you. There was this broken down tunnel, and you had a pack of Ulek Legionnaires, well, Jesus, screaming behind you like dogs barking. Throwing Thergic grenades at you and shooting at you with guns. As you, Austin Powers hopped into Planton's Cadillac and drove through the tunnel your long lost buddy, what was their name?
Shelton?
Sheldon?
I don't know.
All right, Sheldon. Sheldon, and what race was he?
Darwin?
He's a Schnallfolk.
Or small folk?
Oh.
Snell folk.
Looks like he was a cross between
Denna.
Schnallfolk
Okay, that works.
Denna.
and
Denna.
both. Denna and Schnallfolk. So sort of like a 5'2" man who had wonderful hair, beautiful blue eyes, and a winning smile. Perhaps the best one among you. As knowing that there's no way you could get through the tunnel with these Ulek Legionnaires on your tail, as they also had an Ulek Cadillac. He leapt out of the door and held them off. He'll have detonated a ttrpg explosive at the mouth of this cave, hopefully sealing them out. You saw him blow up in smithereens. Everyone make a sanity roll.
He just wanted us to do a sanity roll.
That's
Really.
completely right.
Ooh. I got 4.
Nice. That is a narrative point because the threshold is dose.
I got dose.
All right, you are at limbo. So you gain a flaw. Flaw will be maybe nervous,
Oh,
or claustrophobic, something like this.
I was gonna go a slightly different direction.
What direction were you going?
Can like a flaw be called like gruesome or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you'll see Viola sort of lean forward a little closer to the fire. It's really too bad we couldn't recover his body. It would have made such a wonderful research material.
Jesus Christ. All right. What's your derangement?
Psychosis.
Yeah, you get a box. That was beautiful role play. Definitely get a box, and you'll get a narrative point for your troubles. As she crazy. All right, what the rest of you roll?
I got no successes.
Good. You get a derangement. What is the derangement you picked?
Dissociative.
Yeah, you get one of those, and you also get a flaw. The flaw will be splatter effect. Maybe you're somehow sort of Dexter style intrigued by the splatter of blood. Now, mind you, if you have one box, it does not mean you're nuts. It just means there's an intrigue about it. What about you, Drizzle? Or I should say 766. 776.
S76.
Evan says 76.
76.
S76. S76.
I only. It stands
S76.
S76. It stands for Servant 76.
Oh.
And I only got one success.
All right. So you get a flaw. Something along the lines of survivor's guilt. Because your good buddy Sheldon sacrificed himself for everyone else in glory when you did not.
The Great One will take him.
Planton, you will gain a trait because you were able to succeed so well on this as you drove heroically this ttrpg caddy out.
Thank you.
I think heroic would be a nice meta trait as well.
I guarantee.
As all of your previous one-shot characters are not heroic. Turns out Planton, the Frenchman, might be fish manger.
It's pish
I love
manger.
All right. Let's roll a chaos die. So fish manger, roll a chaos die, be D6.
All right.
And we'll see if your vehicle has any damage to it.
Okay. I wanted to spend a narrative point to, or it does because I rolled a 1. I would like to spend a proficiency, I guess. I would like to keep my vehicle.
No, you gotta keep. You're gonna keep the vehicle. It just has a little damage to it.
Well, I'm gonna re-roll the 1,
Okay, you may re-roll it.
and I rolled a 1 again. So meant to be.
That's that algorithm, dude. All right, so keep your proficiency. 'Cause
Okay.
you need 'em. And you look and you see that your Cadillac explodes. No, I'm kidding. Your Cadillac is it's got some scuff marks where the Ulex spear, this Thergic, what do you call it? It's a clockwork. Oh shit! I can't. There's a word. It's hydraulic, not hydraulic. What is a piston like?
Pneumatic.
Thank you.
Pneumatic.
Thank you. Get a pip, a pneumatic spear that they have, and there's several puncture wounds, but the caddy still runs, dude.
Oh, nice.
As you're all sitting there around this campfire, you've been traveling all day. We will screw you over on this. How much alchemical gas do you have? That's the question. Which this is a liquefied spice, as in spice is an alchemical elixir. It is absolutely. It has absolutely nothing to do with Dune at all. Okay, so shut up. We'll see how much you have, how much you've used. So, yeah, roll. How about a D12?
I have used 6.
Okay, you're at half a tank. You got 6 more packs of spice to shove into this Thergic engine.
Okay.
And it's a hog, baby.
Well,
it's a hog.
It's a beast.
It's a beast.
I was going to spend a narrative point that it's a Terravator. You could dig.
What does that mean?
That means you can dig through the ground. That's how it.
No.
Not dig through the ground, but like it can. It's on tracks. It's
Like
it's
it can
not.
burrow.
No,
Oh,
it's got.
I see. Yeah,
It can't burrow necessarily, but if there's like a wall,
it's like a tank.
It's like a tank. It could roll through. It's not fast, but it's stout.
Yeah, it's
and
got
that's
tracks.
why.
It's a little-
That's why some holes in the side. That's they'll
That's right.
blemish out. We'll blemish that.
I love
out.
it.
I'll make it nice.
We'll say that it has, since it's heavily armored, caddy, it'll have 26 vitality. We'll say that it's
Okay.
taken 3, so you're at 23 right now. Okay.
All right.
And it's got treads, which means actually going up this hill is not too hard. Can't go over boulders,
Sure.
but all right. As you guys are still sitting around this campfire, it's completely dark outside. You hear the sounds of the forest hooting and hollering around you. Some wolves. You see the few stars that are still in the sky. This old world of Craster. Out is the moon, the purplish moon Ariane, followed by the lover, unrequited lover of Name, another moon, which is sort of a bluish moon, following her. Actions on you all.
You see S76. He gets up and he's walking around and he's picking certain grasses and stuff, and he puts them into his hand, and he walks back to the fire, and you see his what nictating membranes come down
Yeah.
over his eyes, and you see him take his hand like this and literally put it down almost into the fire and hold it, and his tongue's like flicking around, and it's like, and you see his hand start to shake a little bit, and then he turns it over and dumps the stuff out into the fire, and then he pulls back his hand and just kind of rubs it a little.
What do you bid to do this? And what are you doing?
It is, I'm going to bid Faith as my shield. And it is, this is his worship ritual. Basically, it is to show these are the offerings to the Great One, and it's to show like the pain that he's willing to go through to give it to him.
I love it. What do you say to them as you do it, or what do you all say to him as he sticks his hand in the fire?
Sir, I believe that is you shouldn't do that.
And then it's like, if you would know the Great One, you would do it well.
I do not stick my hands in such ridiculous places.
That's because you are an imbecile. The Great One will have his way with you when the time comes.
I don't see him. He is not here. Do not believe
But
in
he
nonsense.
He sees even though he is not here.
Okay, you're a very silly man. Blizzard.
I am not a man.
Very silly Liz.
Roll a D100. S76.
There's an 8.
Okay. As your hand is burned. However, and it hurts because your hand is burned. So you have this other condition, favored hand. But somehow, perhaps it's placebo effect, perhaps not. There's a kind of faith that bolsters in your breast, as you have 8 extra plot armor. They are temporary plot armor. So once they're gone, you can't get them back. And they'll fade if you fuck up. Okay. As some time passes, your stomachs growl, the fire spitters and puts against the cold. Maybe you throw some extra logs on it. And it is the dead of night. What are you all doing?
I am curling up close to the fire after doing this, and you just see me kind of rubbing the back of the hand that I put in.
I'm also ensconced on the other side of the fire.
Good word, you get a pip. What about Viola?
At this point, she's laying back, sort of flat on the ground, not looking at the fire, but looking straight up at the sky. And I mean, she's not going to be talking very quietly, but if anybody was close enough that they could hear her, sort of, she'd be saying to herself, they used to tell stories of how the night sky was full of stars and how beautiful it was. But I think the darkness is more beautiful.
As you're all hearing this fucking witch going, she clearly took Pact Magicka. Or did you go Void?
I did not void, yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome. As you know, shadows are playing all around because of the fire, and around her, this sort of whipping around. As
Very many stars to see when there's clouds.
Viola and you see you're leaning back a little bit. What about Planton and Petita?
Planton is watching the moon, the purple moon, and the blue moon, keeping a watch as the younger folk rest.
Oh, you are keeping a watch. What are you bidding?
I will bid the spark.
You get a pip for keeping watch, as your eyes are adjusted to the dark. You're making sure you're not looking at the fire, and it seems like no one is creeping up on you yet. What about Patinta, the ham? Holker, what is the ham doing?
The ham is asleep.
Good. Some time passes. Planton, as you're keeping watch, your eyes seem to droop a little bit just because, you know, you're sitting there. Maybe you stand up and shake the legs off and get the blood flowing, walking around. At this point, it seems like everyone's asleep except for S76, whose eyes are open, but they don't blink. So it's kind of hard. Maybe there's a point where you're like waving your hand in front of his face. Nothing happens. So everybody's asleep.
Yeah, and as I'm kind of pacing around, I'm kind of like doing quick draws with my little pink pistols, like kind of doing like the flip around and then I'll put it back in, and I'll flip around, just practicing my quick draws.
Roll a d6 chaos die to see if you accidentally shoot.
I got a 6.
As one of those guns is tried and true.
Oh, nice.
So pick one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Your left or your right. Tried and true means that it does not have a chaos die. So this is a extremely well-made Thergic pistol.
Oh, wow.
Where did you get it? This probably has a story. Unless something happens that makes it have a chaos die, it by itself does not fumble. All right. Anyone awake other than Planton? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I would have drifted off.
Okay. You hear a snap, Planton, as you're maybe 10 feet away from the fire. As you look, you see someone shifting in the darkness down the hill from you, maybe a stone's throw behind a tree, hiding.
They're hiding in the trees?
Behind the tree trunk. You saw them as they hid. So you don't see them now, but you saw them. Your Cadillac is between you and them.
Okay. I'm going to sneak over to behind the Cadillac and pay attention to them. And I'm going to whisper, just in case there's anybody awake, that there's somebody in the woods.
Okay, are you bidding to wake someone up, or are you bidding to sneak?
I'm gonna say that, whisper that, and then sneak. Is that all right?
Okay. Yeah, you whisper it, but no one wakes up.
Okay. And then I will bid Rogue.
Yep.
To sneak over to the.
as you sneak over successfully behind the Cadillac, you whispering, hoping that someone wakes up. You hope it. The rest of you, let's roll we'll say it's a wits roll. It'd be a high threshold because it's a whisper, but you're on the run and you've been on the run for a while. We'll see if any of them wake up. Threshold is 4. So if you make it, you start to wake up at limbo. If you have a clean success, you do wake up.
No successes. I'm dead asleep.
I may never wake up again.
Anyone wake up? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, now I do. Yeah, I used a proficiency. I have a total of 4.
All right, at limbo, you start to wake up. You could hear Planton. Seems like he's too close again. As you're like, motherfucker. As you start waking up. That was funny. Come on.
Yeah.
As you look up and you see Planton is gone. You're kind of, since it's limbo, you're kind of like out of it a little bit. You don't know where he is. And you don't really know why you woke up. Planton, action is on you as you sneak up to where the caddy is, behind it. Caddy's between, you got your back to it. You're near the front, the rear driver's side wheel. We're in America, so the driver's side wheel. And
I'm going to just look across the horizon and see if I hear any other noises.
As you're looking around, it is so dark out here in the woods, but you get the glimmer of a shifty looking sprite of a woman. From the towering ears on her head, you can tell that she is a Dinah or Doween sibling, just like you, and just like Viola. But she looks worse for the wear. She's got bruising on her face. It's covered with her bangs coming down, but you can tell she's been in some scraps. She's also wearing the trappings of an escaped convict, and there's dried blood on her pinstripe suit.
I don't want to startle her, but I kind of feel like she's got us made a little bit, and I'm not super afraid of her. So I'm gonna slowly, I'm gonna raise my hands up over the car. They're pink pistols, so they can see it. I'm gonna point them up in the air and say, "You there? Why are you looking in on us right now, right here?"
Viola, you hear Planton's voice. The action is on you all as you see this woman put her hands on the trunk, looking, her eyes scared. She looks like she's probably in her 30s in years, which means that she's like maybe 10 seasons.
Your mouth get your lick, your tongue get cut out. Speak out.
I'm sorry.
Where do you come from?
I saw the light. Are you trying to get to the cave?
Yes, we are headed to escape. I can see that you are convict as well.
She sort of looks down at her dressings. You see on her face resignation as she slowly comes out into the light. You see she's actually rather attractive, or maybe was. She has scars on her face. It looks like she's been tortured.
They got you pretty good.
A while ago. She covers her face with her bangs. Like her hair is maybe shoulder length. At this, the rest of you start sort of stirring. Viola, are you doing anything? You absolutely hear this entire conversation.
Yeah. So, Viola will start getting up and walk over to her. You poor thing. Why don't you come by the fire and get warm?
What do you bid? You see she kind of moves away from you a little bit.
Before you do that, is anyone traveling with you, young lady?
Nice, you get a pip. As she turns, looking back over her shoulder. No one's with me.
You sure about that?
As I start to wake up,
She nods.
I
I slowly put my weapons in holsters.
as I start to wake up, can I bid Sanctimonious to activate loosing the spirit to let me like astral project myself around the campfire?
Ooh, sexy. Yes, absolutely, you can.
Okay.
I bid seasoned.
Bidding seasoned, she backs away a little bit, but you see that, I mean, she came here, and seeing you even in your creepy state, with the shadow sort of moving around you, she follows you towards the campfire. Planton, it seems like she is nervous. At the same time, at least what she has on her, imagine like pajamas is what she looks like. You know, like little button-down pinstripe shirt as well as the pants. You see that she's wearing boots that are too big for her, that are clearly not her own. And she doesn't outwardly look like she's armed.
How did a young lady like you get so far out here in the woods?
I escaped the mid-rim. I was part of. They were going to kill me, so I had to get out of there as soon as possible.
What did you say your name was again?
She looks up, going off of Viola's bid. Circe. That's it.
You don't have a last name, Circe.
You see her look embarrassed.
What kind of woman doesn't have a last name? We should come up with a last name for you right now. Circe Courtier.
The ham wakes up at this. She sort of nods.
Whoa, who's that? What is your name?
This here is Circe Courtier.
Circe Courtier.
Circe Courtier. Where did you come from?
As you all don't notice, S76's spirit, like a death rattle, escape his mouth as he pukes himself out into the aether realm in a spiritual form. As you're floating above your inert body, what are you doing?
I'm going out and making a circle around the camp to see if there is anybody else out there.
Yep. As you move, what are you bidding to do this?
Sanctimonious was to activate it. Do I need to bid something else?
Yep.
Okay. Then graceful.
Bidding graceful as you're moving through the trees, and you notice that the trees all have in this visage. I'm sorry, not visage. In this form, this spiritual form, you can see the other realms, or at least shadows of them, almost like a rainbow refracts a light beam into its various bands. You can see hints and shadows of the other realms. You are in the aether right now. I mean, you're in the natural. That's where you are, but your spirit sort of straddles the aether. You can see a little bit of the twilight dim the shadow, in the deep, deep shadow, the gloaming. You can go there in this form. It's like a black hole, though, in which case you won't be able to get back to your body unless someone lets you. So you want to avoid those places. There's the between as well as the void. The void is something that, imagine being out in the sun without sunblock, except with bare skin. In that feeling, as you look up, you see only darkness, but you know the void is there always. And there is the veil, which is literally protecting you from the void. The lore is that if you were to see the void, you would go insane immediately, or your soul would be evaporated. As you're moving through, you can see the souls of the trees. You can see the brilliance of the burning souls of your compadres. And bidding graceful, you see another soul, maybe 100 yards from you all down the hill, off the beaten path. It's not a beaten path, off the goat path you guys followed, which is now beaten because you drove up in a Cadillac tank. Seems it would be very, very easy to follow your all's tracks because you drove up in a Cadillac tank. You see another soul. From your experience, you can tell it's probably burning. It doesn't seem luminescent, as in like more powerful or closer to the gods than you, but still willful and formidable, heroic or perhaps villainous. You can't tell, but a threat. About 100 yards from you, this person, you can't quite make the details out because you're in the spirit realm, but they seem like they're armed, maybe 6 feet-ish tall, as you sort of float down and try to get a look. Some sort of traveler, you can tell, and they are creeping towards you. Back at the campsite, as this is all happening, what are y'all doing with Cersei?
You're muted.
Good. You don't hear all the clicks. You don't know where the creeping cave is. Do we know where the creeping cave is?
The keeping cave.
The keeping cave.
She looks back and forth at all of you. I do. I know where it is. I can get us there. Are you trying to leave?
I think that might be in our best interest, young.
If they find
seriously.
I think the theurgic car over here is out of warranty, so
you get a pip. As she looks at it, you can see it's not that she's actually. I won't tell you what it is. She looks at the car, and there definitely is a look on her face. I think that we have to walk. You can't get through the cave in that anyway, and it makes too much noise.
I'm not very happy about that. C'est la vie, such is life.
I have some coin, or some bits, if need be. As you see her pull out this little bag and dig around into it, and she pulls out some bits and holds that in her palm.
What are these bits
Before
for?
that.
Oh, to come with us.
She nods.
Yeah.
What did you say, Viola?
Viola will just say, before that, and she'll actually pull out her own bag of bits and hold it in her hands, and then drop it like this in front of Cersei's face.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, and she'll sort of start waving it back and forth, like slowly in front of
hypnosis?
her face. Yeah. So for that, I'm gonna bid bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And like every once in a while, I'll dangle it in front of her face, like so you can hear the pieces in it.
Yeah.
And basically trying to like just sort of screw with her mind a little bit.
So you're trying to jack with her. Okay.
Yeah.
As she sees that and realizes it's all about money, as you see her pull out a little more.
No. I hold on. Sorry. I realized I didn't finish the rest of my sentence.
Indeed, you didn't.
You're right. I was wondering, why were they gonna kill you?
She sort of looks down, kind of shut down a little bit. Does anyone else bid anything?
Everybody dangling
Before
this
she clams up.
this money. I was gonna bid no degree to steal some of it.
Okay, how are you gonna do it?
I'll probably wait. So I'm just thinking about how to do it at this moment.
Yeah.
At
the
I'm
opportune
paying
time.
attention. I'm paying attention to where people put the money.
Yeah. In the bidding no degree, you see where she puts, and bidding that, you can tell that she's got a lot more than a coin in that bag. As you, well, balloons. As you realize, I mean, she's got at least 2 or 3 coin in there in the form of some precious stones. She has some jank.
See you. You come prepared.
Looking over, blowing your load and your cover that you know this, she opens her eyes and kind of stashes her jank closer to her body. What's y'all doing?
That
She
might
was shut down by Viola.
that might be a down payment on if you think that my vehicle won't be able to join us. I have an idea to potentially throw them off our scent if you think.
I mean, I can pay. As she pulls it back out and delivers a coin's worth shing, into your hands.
Yes. This will be a very, very nice start. Money
ties
means a lot of trust to me, young lady.
Well, I have some.
Well, when should we set out?
We should go now.
Yeah,
We should go now.
were there people in transit following you?
Am I?
You are now coming back to your body. Roll me a cast die.
Okay. It's a 5.
As you back into your body and without ill effect are awake. We should go now. Right now.
You see quickly S76. He was sitting in like a crisscross applesauce thing, but he does like the quick stand up and spin around at the same time.
Tail erect.
There are people following about 100 feet away.
You see Cersei bolt up the mountain into the darkness and like stumbling and like tripping and shit.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna bid mechanic to quickly run to my vehicle, turn it on, and like put a way, like, and manufacture a quick way to just have it start going in a direction. Then I'm gonna jump out. Like,
sure.
Take one of the gear pads, some kind of weird coil of wire, and like shove it on the accelerator, and like have it just go.
I love it. Roll a D6 for your Cadillac to make sure it starts.
Oh. And we have
it's a Cadillac. Give it a D8.
6. Oh,
you got a 6. All right, fuck it. As boom, you get a narrative point on this. As it starts up like a charm, and is it going up the mountain in straight forward, Is he going to the left or the right?
I just positioned the steering wheel, kind of lock it in. It probably doesn't have power steering, so it's just locked in.
No.
Going forward.
Okay, so it's going up the hill in the direction you were all going.
Yeah, it's just gonna go in the direction.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna say, did anybody get a line where the young lady was headed?
You see her running up the hill,
Okay.
So
and she's in the dark now.
where I have the nictating membranes, that's my infravision.
Yeah,
So I've
you
got
can see
it.
her.
I've got it on. You just see me take off into the woods, and I'm following her body heat.
Yeah, you can see her. It's predator vision as you see her stumbling. She is frantically running. You note that the grade of the hill is getting harder, and you're starting to have to shortly, like not after too long, actually climb on all fours. There's overhangs and boulders and that kind of stuff, and lots of places to twist your knee or your ankle. As she seems to be going pretty quickly, she's rather nimble. How do you keep up with her?
I am going to bid. I don't know if this is how the Zunts work, but I'm.
You
going
have a
to
tail,
bid,
so you have a lot of balance.
I was gonna call it four-legging, so like it's.
Sounds like a move.
Let's go five-legging because I've got a tail.
Okay.
Five-legging it, and so so I'm bidding that, and it's like it is using all of my appendages, my arms, my legs, and my tail to balance and
Fucking
go.
steak monster with his fucking tongue out. Parkouring up this hill in the dark.
Yeah. All you hear is laughter.
Yeah, you definitely you're gaining on her.
Right.
Easily. All right.
She
as
wasn't running before, she's running now.
as the caddy tank is moving forward as it busts through one of the boulders, bang, and it rolls down the hill into the canyon. This thing is just hauling ass up. We'll say it has one headlight since it's theurgic and steampunky, shining out ahead. Those two are out of sight as it sort of starts veering off a little bit, having hit that boulder. It's still going toward where you guys are headed, but eventually it's going to veer off and continue around the mountain. Viola and Ham, what are you doing?
I get in the car.
Oh, I get in
Yep.
the car.
As they
Interesting.
jump in the car and start veering off the direction.
Did they notice that I was not in the car?
No, apparently not. As you
Okay.
guys are in the car, like you jump in, you look over the driver's seat and see it's jury rigged. All right.
I'm gonna run after those other guys.
As you start running after you, easily bypass. Well, easily is not the right word. What do you bid to catch up because the terrain is pretty gnarly?
I'm gonna bid heroic.
As you're running, you can run faster up this hill than your tank can go, but it has a lot more endurance than you. As bidding heroic, you maybe even do the maneuver where you like slide over the front of the car, and Viola and Ham, you see Planton's ass as he starts hauling ass and parkouring up this hike. The tank is bulldozing through different things, slamming around. You guys are flying around in there. It is absolutely off-roading. Ping, pong, boom. You hear, this is Viola and Ham, as you're being shot at. Ping, boom. You see the glass of the back window bust out, and then the front windshield crack as one of the shells goes through it. You can hear someone shouting. All of you can. Some of you more distant, but over the of the caddy, it's hard to hear what's being said. All right, actions on you all.
Should we bail? It looks rather dangerous.
Viola does not seem to be paying any attention to you. What are you doing?
We could bail. Or I forget, what can Scroll of Void do?
A lot.
Good.
Now the description, which I know you don't have with you. Mages never know their spells. In any system, wizards never know their spells. It's totally a thing. I need to get those little spell cards to write.
That'd be pretty awesome. For sure.
All right. You picked Scroll of the Void. Crap. What was your it was a creature?
Yeah.
Okay. We will wait on the internet.
Mm.
There's something here. Okay. Tapping into the void for fell answers, pushing, pulling objects, and even bursts of travel. So that's what you can do. A little bit of TK, as well as what I just described.
So could I?
And you have a lot of granular control because you have a magical control of 4.
Could I make the Cadillac tank move quicker?
Yeah.
Okay. Then
you
I
will
will
have
attempt to do that.
You have to have some concentration. You will be using magicka, literally void magicka, as in energy from the void, drawing it in to push or pull the Cadillac up the hill. So it's like towing it with fell energies.
I will attempt to do that.
Okay. What are you bidding to do it?
I'll bid one of my mage backgrounds.
As you start doing this, please describe.
So you'll see you'll see her eyes roll in the back of her head, and she'll just start saying, "Mealashak."
As Ham, the witch, starts doing witchy shit next to you in the Cadillac, in the back seat. Right. So this costs sanity. So make a sanity roll.
Okay. Where the fuck did I put
And
that?
Ham, you get to make a sanity roll too, since she's using void magicka. As you hear the voices of Ambulish and abstracts, and you see these weird 1980s adventurers investigating some bullshit, and you see their Cthulhian monsters. Yeah.
I got a 10
That
and a
is
4.
So how many successes is that, Holker?
3.
Okay. As you do not lose any sanity. Would you say, Viola?
I got two.
All right, as you do not lose any sanity, but you are at limbo, which means the spell does something a little bit different. You feel something tug at your lungs, Viola. And suddenly, where you were hungry, you aren't right now. You feel like you've eaten, or perhaps something has entered your body. As a jolt from the tank, as it is yanked from this unseen force, this hand. If one was astral projecting, they would see a clawed, many phalangeed hand dragging the tank up. Your ride just got way rougher as you are bursting through boulders. Behind you, just trees are falling down around and rolling down the mountain. Behind you, Planton and S76, you're a cacophony as you see this tank double speed, 2-time it, veering off course. So it's not in danger of running you over, but it is bulldozing up the hill. And beyond it, you see the barrel flash of someone holding, looks like 2 guns, shooting at the tank. Okay. You guys are far enough away, and this person cannot see you. Action's on you.
Have I caught up to Cersei yet?
Easily.
Okay.
You are faster than she is.
I'm going to kind of try and sweep her up and put her on my back and go,
Yep.
point me the way. Point me the way.
I can't see.
You were heading a way to begin with, and I'm still scurrying up the way that she was going. You said you knew the way.
Was she lying? What do you bid?
I will bid my second action, which is follows.
I love it. She says, Can you see in the dark? As you're
I can see heat.
Okay, good. You can see like maybe her face smile a little bit. They say that there's an eternal fire in the cave. You should be able to see it. As you look up, and what did you bid?
Follows.
Follows. In fact, somehow you would have missed it. Maybe just because you were too low on the hill. But as you come over this rise, you see very faintly, like a ventilation on several sides of a structure. It is disheveled. It's covered in earth. You can just see some contours as you realize that is no cave. It's a Death Star. No, it's no cave. It looks like a collapsed building that has been covered with earth and detritus and overgrown. As looking down into the canyon, you realize this is one of the wastes, the ancient wastes of the Bonestone City. There probably was one of the floating halves that collapsed here. This all was at one point part of the city, and you're going into a building of some sort, which is a cave.
The Great One leads the way.
As you start that way, behind you, Planton. What are you doing?
Following.
Okay, what are you bidding to do so?
I will bid True Vision.
Bidding True Vision. You can keep up. The question is, can you see?
Well, I did bid True Vision. I can hear. I can see with my ears.
Yeah, as you're listening and are apparently very good with it, as you can hear S76 and Cersei talking, as well as maybe see a little bit from the ambient light from your tank. It's not pointed directly where you want to go. In fact, they're veering off and on around and down into the canyon eventually. But you rough and tumble your way, getting hit in the face several times with like branches and such. But you actually find your way just when you think maybe you're lost. You like get sort of like tail whipped in the face by S76's tail as you realize you're right behind his cochlea.
Oh. You need to wash a little bit. Yeah, son.
He smells like a reptile.
You got a little stank on you.
In the tank, you guys feel as you're busting ass and you feel that you're not rolling because you're being pulled by fell forces, but you're sort of being dragged around the mountain. To your right is a canyon. To your left is, well, the mountain. What are you two doing? Everything is shaking and loud and all this stuff.
I mean, I'm still focusing, right?
Yeah, it's just a bid that you have going. Whomever is attacking you is not attacking you any longer. They don't have line of sight.
Do I have any way to tell where we're supposed to be going?
That's the onus is on you.
Hey,
I don't know.
what if we try and take over the car? Because it's clearly jerry-rigged. Maybe we could like steer it and stuff. I'm gonna crawl over into any other seat. See what I can do.
As you do, what do you bid?
Oh.
I will bid my nature, which is obsessed.
As you jump into the seat, you undo the jerry rig and taking the control. It strains your muscles and such because there's no power steering. Make a brawn roll. So be your action die and your brawn die.
Huh?
Your action die, D10, and your brawn die.
And my brawn.
Yep.
That would be okay. One success.
And Viola, I did not hear what you said.
I was just gonna say I didn't want to let you know I'm probably gonna have to leave about 11.
Oh yeah, I dig it. As one success is all you need, Viola, you see the triceps glisten on the ham's hammy arms as he spins the wheel, and you guys start up the mountain, out of the canyon. Moments later, as this tank appears to your guys' right side, S76 and Planton, you see now there's plenty of light, and inside the tank is the ham, and behind him, darkness with void eyes and purple and greens of this magic, like flames of like a claw pulling this thing behind you. Both of you can make sanity rolls.
Could you imagine if S76 was still astral projecting too?
Yes, I can imagine it.
I have 3 successes.
Oh, you get a narrative point.
I have 2 successes.
All right, you have a clean success threshold is 1. As you guys have clearly seen this kind of stuff and you didn't see it cast. As you all make it, having rushed and using the tank to this cave. You know it by S76 stopping and Circe pointing, there. You see this yawning portal of the cave. The hillside gives way to a steeper, rockier terrain, which continues into the Canic mountain range, which you just crossed. These protected lands, protected from the wastes to the north, which is where you're trying to go. And at this ridge, a cliff reveals the valley below. A flat desert of the Warren. As you can look over, you can see just by the blue and purple light of Name and Ariane, the moons, respectively, this swath of never-ending, seemingly flat desert. Nearby the ridge where you're on, this ruddy slab of mountain, perhaps 50 feet high, jutting up from the earth like a broken tooth and leaning to the side of boulders and rubble, and this yawning portal, which to you S76, some heat is coming out.
I'm going to like take her off, or like pull her off my back and sit her down and be like, who is following us?
I am.
You get a pip. as you see Platon appear, and moments later, right after she says, Justice, a bounty killer. A more thingy sheriff. I'm sorry to bring this upon. As you see the Cadillac, the Cadillac, upon seeing you, shuts off as the light starts to slowly fade, as an incandescent bulb does. You can still see, those of you that can't see in the dark, as it'll take several minutes for it to completely fade, but the engine dies upon reaching here. Quiet.
Well,
Action's on you all.
looks like you brought him to us. Whoever was following probably heard my distraction was to send it down the mountain to get them to go that away.
As you both peel out of the or pile out of the Cadillac.
I'm guessing it's too small to fit in this cave.
Oh yeah, it is. Well, it's too big to fit
big.
the cave.
All right, so I'm going to run back to the machine, put a little turn on it, and can I bid something to get it to go down the hill?
You can try, sure.
I'm going to bid the
So
machine.
Here's a different question before he does that. I was going to ask, is it big enough that it could jam up the entrance?
Oh yeah, definitely. Viola, by the way, your magicka breaks off. As you know, it's not a mishap, but it feels like a mishap. Ping! As you were just disconnected from it when you all arrive, and the engine shuts off.
Do you say that out loud?
Wait a minute. Yeah, I will say, well, why don't we use it to jam up the entrance?
Okay, I could probably try to manufacture that. And I do. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that you see me grab her hand and lead her into the cave.
You do.
Girl,
As you
Cersei.
start
Go ahead.
as you start leading Cersei in, and you guys are into the cave.
And I'm gonna bid the machine to activate mechanic.
As you bid machine and you start pulling the pulleys and starting the ignition, you realize that the machine is on. It's just off. As you're sitting there sort of scratching your head trying to troubleshoot it, it suddenly turns on. And you can turn it wherever you want it to go.
And I'm gonna try and push it into it directly. I'm gonna just drive it into the
Easily
thing
done.
and spend
It's a rough ride.
and spend a pip,
but-
saying that there's a front opening that I could sneak out the front that's hidden. Maybe so I can slip
Honestly,
in,
the glass already cracked.
I don't know if
you
I
just kick out
understand
the
that.
glass.
or I could kick out the front of the glass and just
Oh
lock
well,
the doors.
since it's a tank, there could be a top part.
Yeah, the top part. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I
if
don't
somebody
see- I
can
don't-
climb, the goal is to wedge it in there.
Yeah, I get it. I just don't see how you could run out the front. That doesn't make sense for a vehicle.
Yeah, no, you're right. It
That's
wouldn't
kinda
make sense.
stupid.
You're right. You're right.
But out the top makes sense.
Yeah,
Or
out the
bottom.
top. Like there's a little front hole out the top that's a little lower than
Yeah.
the very top.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a tank. It's a tank caddy. Yeah.
It's-
So
it's-
that'd be a pip. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd spend a pip to really wedge
As you-
it in there.
You basically just have this Sturgic tank, which is in the book. As you pop out, wedging it in there, and with your bid mechanic, that works. Viola and Ham, how are you getting in the cave?
Well, I'll let them run first.
I will. Okay. Well, yeah. There's that. But and do we need to make a bid still, or
No, if you're just getting in the cave, then you just
Oh, I'm
walk
just
in.
getting in the
then,
cave.
just also get in the cave?
As
In the cave.
the hole seems plugged, the Cadillac is still running. The light showing into the cave.
I'm gonna pull the. How big are the fuel junkets?
You know, yay big.
And so carrying
The
them
packs.
would not be fun.
Yeah, carrying 6 of them would be. Well, actually, it doesn't have 6 anymore. It has probably
No.
4.
Yeah.
Carrying 4 of them, they're pretty heavy. They're about
Could I
10
carry
pounds a piece.
one?
You could carry all 4 if you wanted. About 40 pounds.
Yeah. I don't want to carry 40 pounds. I think
It's up to you.
I'll-
What do you do?
I'm gonna pull the key out so nobody else can drive it. Grab one
Okay, it has a key.
and take off.
So it turns off. And you grab one of the packs of spice.
Yeah, one of the little power spice packs.
Yep, you have it. Going in S76, Cersei first, you see this cave. Well, it's not a cave. You knew that before. It's some sort of building, some ancient outpost. It's strange, the architecture. It's fluid, somehow marrying technology with nature seamlessly. As you see it, think of like an Alien, the ship, how it almost looks round, but technological at the same time. Walls covered in mosses and detritus and some roots busting through the cracks. Nothing seems to work. You see panels of ttrpg that you've never seen before. Maybe in a clock tower in one of the ancient ttrpg relics you've seen, but it none of the lights work, none of the knobs work as if you touch them, or if you touch them, we'll see what happens. There's no natural light except for that flowing through the small cracks in the ceiling, which right now it's just some of the moonlight. So it's very, very dark in here. For you, it's not a big deal, but you're really seeing from body heat. So a little bit of contour, and as the dying light of that incandescent bulb, sort of a gulf of darkness, you can see the corridor goes down and then branches off in 2 directions.
Okay. As we get in here, I'll grab Cersei and turn her towards me. I pull out my dagger and prick my thumb and put it to her forehead. And I say, I'm going to bid Devoted to activate Scroll of Pax. And I'm going to say, by the Great One, if you turn treacherous to us, he will take you.
All right, roll a chaos die.
Okay.
And whatever the number is how much plot armor you bleed
Okay,
with
5.
this spectacular curse. As you, because you get a success on that, you can choose to make it harder for her to resist, or you can reduce the plot armor by 1.
Oh, I was actually doing it as a contract.
Yeah,
instead
no.
of a curse.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, I see.
So it's
yeah,
so
either,
it's like
either way.
yeah.
Either way.
Okay, so I will make it, or because that was 1, so 1 less for her
Okay,
to
so it's-
resist it.
Oh, okay. So it's
Is that what you? Sorry.
so you can do 4 plot armor, in which case that's the bonus, or you can make it harder for her and spend 5 plot armor.
I will do 4 plot armor.
Okay. As you bleed, but you're pretty good at this. As blood, rushes down her face from this wound on your thumb, which is rather deep, but it means that it's probably going to work. As you maybe lick the wound, and she now covered in blood, maybe some of it getting in her mouth, looks at you, and you realize the contract has taken hold as she nods. If she betrays you, she will probably die. Or maybe her soul will be eaten or something. As the rest of you come up, S76 is performing this ritual that gives you guys time to come up. Actions on you all.
Is spice flammable?
What?
Is spice flammable?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So Viola, would have seen that he only took out one of the containers of spice, she would pull out one of the other containers of spice and kind of just pour it on the ground around the car.
Okay, you have to spend a pip for it.
Fine. Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, continue.
And then she gets out one of her batches from her scholar's satchel and lights it up.
All right, what do you bid?
For this, I will bid my swagger, which is intentional.
I love it. While she's doing this, the fading light of that massive incandescent bulb, which is the front of the tank, gives you guys some light. S76 and Circe are deep in the corridor at this point, a good 30, 40 feet and around a corner. What about Planton and Ham? Are you guys next to Viola, or what are you doing? You are muted, Balloon Man.
I am here.
Do I know what that stuff does? Do I notice her doing this thing? And can I
Where are you?
Can I bid Nimble Mind to know what she's doing?
Yeah, you can be right there, and
and
spice is highly
by
combustible.
knowing it. Can I make a suggestion to
You can do
anybody
so in
that's
character.
yeah? I believe there is an error in your thought process. That stuff is highly flammable, and I recommend we are not in the vicinity if we are to be doing such madness, and I'll be running away.
All right, as you say that, as you run around the corner. Viola, do you
And I
continue?
continue. I
Okay.
continue on my domain.
All right.
I shall bid the scent of colors.
Or I should say,
Hold
I
on.
will go
What's
ahead.
the scent of
okay,
colors?
I want to see if there's anything else going on.
What do you mean?
yeah.
I want to see if there's
Meow.
I actually want to see if there's any. I want to see if there's anything organic in the vicinity. Anything living.
And you're next to the entrance with Viola,
Yes.
dumping out combustible shit and about to light it on fire, or are you next? Are you deeper in the cave? With
I'll be a bit deeper in the cave.
okay. As you bid that, and you start tasting the colors, Viola, as you.
Well,
what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I specify, and I'm sure you've seen it in movies where you make like a trail of the liquid, further
Mhm.
away from the main source,
Mhm.
and then start it that way.
I see.
in the shape of a crow.
Like in
Yeah,
every
the
single Roadrunner cartoon.
How far into the cave are you going with your trail of spice?
Oh, probably like 20, 30 feet.
Okay. So you're pretty much about like 10, 20 feet away from everyone else.
Yeah.
All right. As you see, Plantal, you see Katrina. I mean, sorry. I mean, Viola, following you with this bag of spice. As she walks back, puts the spice down, walks back out, and starts to light it next to you. This gives you guys a little bit of time before she lights the boom boom. Are you going into the cave, or are you standing next to her? To
Yeah,
see
I'm
what
gonna
happens?
run as fast as I can
All right.
away.
Plantal runs past you, S76 and Cersei, and do you go left or right? It's in the darkness, so you can't really tell.
shoot.
You can just tell there's a fork.
And my can I see? Okay, or
No, it's decay.
in my thieves tools, is there a
Uh-huh.
light of some kind, like a ttrpg light?
Yeah, why not? Do you spend the time to pull it out and take a look, or do you run in?
Well, I gotta see, so I'm gonna.
All right, so
I'm gonna
you kind of halt a little bit, pulling out this globe.
Can
It's
I
called
bid to make it
Grofritz.
faster?
No,
Oh, dang.
no. This is a moment. You got to make
Alright.
a choice.
All right,
Go into the danger or go in a little bit safely.
go in a little bit safely.
All right, as you pull out a Grofritz globe and whack it, slap it on the ass, boom, as it starts to light up. What about you, S76 and the ham?
Viola, could you just hold on a minute?
Hold on, this is happening. I'm just asking them their turns. What are you doing?
I'm going to grab Cersei by the hand and start to head, because he ran past us.
Yep.
So I'm going to head after him.
Left or
I'm not
right?
going to which way is he running?
He's not
I'm
going
following him.
anywhere yet. He's not going anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yet.
Then if he's not going anywhere yet, I'm going to, which side is there heat coming from either side, left or right? Using my vision. Both? Okay, then I'm going to go left.
All right, you go left. What about you, Ham?
To the left, to the left.
All right, Viola, you light it.
Sure do.
Planton, you look back and see Viola explode. Absolutely destroyed. Blood, guts. Her head's like flies past you. Viola, you're dead. As the spice ignites in green and purple flames, blowing you back, Planton, into a room. You may make a brawn and action die roll as cutscene out the front of the cave, like a tongue of fire. The tank explodes. The cave shakes and moves down the mountain in one piece.
Wait, what?
Rooms start collapsing. As the cave collapses, the entire front end, the front corridor, gone. Chonk! Like jaws clamping shut. There's no way out unless you can find the exit. That side explodes. The sheriff, gone, blasted into 1,000 bits. When the dust settles, as you guys are coughing in this, just full of dust and detritus and smoke, it's hard to breathe and see.
Quite the shot
And
for this one shot.
And it's complete darkness. Plantel, you were covered in Viola's
Detritus.
blood. You see her head like this.
Do I need to make a sanity roll?
Fuck. No, not at all. Your back was turned.
Oh, good.
What'd you get on your brawn roll?
I got 2 successes with flair.
Yeah, as you are. Why is it that you took no damage from that?
Because I knew about how much I had to go to not. I mean, I understand my machine. I'm a mechanic.
That's
I knew how much.
You knew. You know. Don't fuck with spice. Andrea, I know you got to bounce. This character is dead. So, did you accomplish any goals?
Nope, sure didn't.
All right. Accomplishing no goals. However, bringing a character to utter completion, everyone will get a pip,
Oh, nice.
as though a major goal was accomplished, and the party goals for our one shots will go up by 1. Dead characters, I think that's a goal. Dink. All right.
Good night, y'all.
Peace out, man.
Oh.
Is everyone cool for like
Yeah, I think so.
maybe 10 minutes and then we can end this?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So, you notice in the darkness, you can hear Planton, some movement. The only person that can see right now is S76. Planton will say that with the explosion, Grothrit's globe flew out of your hands.
Oh no.
And indeed. And you can attempt to search around, and with a little bit of time, you can find it. You went left. Of course. As you find yourself, this is not Planton. Planton, you're outside in the sort of main room, which it's a very small room, especially now since it's completely collapsed and covered in blood and Viola's head and guts everywhere. Actually, at 76, you can kind of see with the blood splatter a little bit of residual heat.
Oh yeah, it's got some magicka on it. It's got a little.
Yeah. At 76, you're in there with Cersei as well as the ham. It is. Let me find this really quick. You guys can talk to each other because you can hear each other.
Oh,
What was that?
that was Viola.
I think that was the machine.
There is no more Viola.
She did not make it.
She was too
Oh,
close.
Tom, look at the blood on your body. It's splattered everywhere. It's
Yeah.
so interesting. It's a lot there. Wow.
You see this, you all, save for Planton, are in this hexagonally shaped room. Clean walls, save for the arcane runes on it, on the floor in a circular pattern. There's a softly glowing tube about the size of a small baton rolled into the center of the pattern. As you see, it's just laying there. It's glowing with a sort of bluish light. Although the light doesn't go very far, you can tell it's arcane, like it's glowing, but it's not really shedding light on any of the surfaces, so it doesn't reflect. Planton, you are in this room. It is stifling. You have to choose to go right or left as you're coughing up, dust and ichor, and you're running out of air.
Which way did you go, guys? I yelled down. Or do I know?
We're over here.
Can I hear
Did you
which
hear
way
them?
there?
To the left.
To the left? Is it safe in there? I guess
Roll a
I guess I'll go
D4.
to the. I'll go to
Roll
the
a
left.
D4.
I'm gonna roll a D4.
You're like, fuck you, I don't roll this D4.
I got a 3.
As you start choking and moving left, as you kick a ball, a little spongy ball, as Grothrit's globe lights up in this light blue, sort of periwinkle light. So you have a little bit of light, you catch it.
Yeah.
It's about the size of a kickball
Yeah.
as you go into the other room, and you
pick it
see
up.
what I said before. Cersei is up against one of the corners, holding herself, looking around, covered in dust. I'm sorry. Did I do that?
Did you do that?
What did you do?
As you see her looking towards the entrance.
No, that was all Viola. She was demented a little bit.
The gods, not again.
What do you mean, not again?
She kind of looks up. Nothing.
No, not nothing. You shall tell me.
As you look up, Planton and the ham, you see that she has like a blood print in the shape of, an Ophidian hand, like Saruman's forces, like ooh, on her face. She's been blessed by the dragon gods.
Do you know
What do
your
you
way
bid?
through this tunnel?
She looks up. No, I just know how to get here, and I know there's a way out.
I
And she kind of
presume
looks down.
there's a series of tricks and traps as we go along. I recommend to everyone step lightly.
She points. She points out the exit of this room, and then at these runes. Those are arcane runes, but I can't read them. And that's some sort of relic. She points at the tube, the sort of gem of some sort that's glowing. You guys do have a bid for her if you want to bid her.
I do want you to answer my question, though. What do you mean this has happened again?
We bid.
This I will bid, hardened.
She looks up at you, kind of turns away really quick, won't answer. How do you convince her?
I'm going to bid turmoil and philosophy to help her.
How?
Young, what do you mean? Please answer the question. This is important to all of us in this here room.
And she sort of turns and looks at you, and you see kind of like tears. S76, what are you saying? You see that she's starting to crack with him jumping in. But she needs a little bit more of a push.
Need to answer me, or the Great One will come after you.
As you see her kind of like lifted up, or is it her? It's like a Ouija board. You can't really tell. I am kissed by the Weaver.
The Weaver? But I know what the Weaver is.
You guys can bid to know what a Weaver is. Or the Weaver's kiss.
I'll bid disciple.
Yep.
Is that,
you will know.
because I think it would make sense if it's
Anyone else?
a deity.
I will bid my motto. The dark calls to me.
You can know several different things about it. Planton, anything?
I could bid my sort, which is sibling.
Sibling would work. As she is sibling as well. We'll start with Planton. Kissed by the Weaver, she is cursed. These are outcasts among your society. They are shunned. They are like lepers. There's a fear that false fortune follows them. They're incredibly unlucky. Now, you, being a man of science, know probably just superstition and Fulian, which is what you are, a sibling of pure blood. There's a lot that they just kind of tout. It's bullshit. But you know that if someone is a weaver, ttrpg does not work that good around them. And you put together that maybe that's why she didn't like the tank. As you might look at your guns and wonder if they will work. Although the tried and true would work, by the way. As for S76 being a mystic, she looks up at you, she says, I'm cursed with destruction. And you know she means it. She wields destruction. She wields chaos. She does not do magicka per se. She is a sorcerer. It is the antithesis of order. It unravels things and turns them into their natural state. She could destroy all of you if she's powerful enough and trained. Like, utter destructive power. Morthingi, which are sheriffs of magicka, kill them on sight. Like, they are anathema. They threaten magicka. And what did you bid, Ham?
My motto, the dark calls to me.
You know something about weaving that despite the superstition and the rhetoric of mages, there is nothing inherently evil about it. It is, in fact, completely natural. As opposed to what Viola cast, which is the void, which is utterly unnatural. Magica. Weaving returns things to the natural state, but it is highly destructive. It is chaos. As she says this, and somehow, portent, the room shakes. I think, she points, that stone, we need it to leave.
What kind of stone is it?
Plantel, you are muted. I don't
see.
know.
I
I was told there's some relic we need to exit through this door. This is an ancient room made by the paragons of old.
And what were these a peaceful people, or were they very warlike, or did they?
Do you bid her, or do you bid something?
I will bid. I'll bid something. I will bid.
Good trade.
I will bid something. I will bid having the spark.
Ooh. From what I know, the paragons of yore were just like us, well, they all died. She kind of like slowly looks up at you. But they were noble.
How did they die?
Time. They were around during the age of the apotheosis, they say, when the gods themselves walked the earth. At least that's what I was told. You can tell, Planton, that she is highborn. She probably is educated. It's just that she's also a sorceress and was locked up and marked for death. As she looks around, I don't know what this room is. I have a feeling it served some other purpose. Everything in here is dangerous because we don't know how it works.
I agree. I wouldn't touch any of it. Even to examine it, it seems beyond.
We will need the key, the relic. The waystone is what it's called.
The waystone, something that may be heavier than it looks.
I don't know. But she looks back at that rod. I don't know what it is.
Would you be comfortable touching that rod?
It would be best for me not to.
Yes, I would say.
If it's ttrpg. But she looks back up at you, S76. I would, if you told me to.
No, I think we shall.
I think the Great One will protect me. And I will start to go up to it.
Perhaps a glove, sir.
No, actually.
Get up, Pip.
Can you bid a condition?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go up to it and using my favored hand, because that's the one that I use for the rituals and stuff. I will reach out and not grasp it, but get close to it and see if I can see anything before I start to grab it.
As you get close to it, you cross into the circle of runes as they alight softly in a pattern. And you see the room runes along the all the walls, and there's a hum.
Maybe taking a step back. You're a ttrpg individual, whereas I have no magic at all. I do have this book. Maybe we could consult the book first.
You do note that this room is the only stable room that you've seen. It doesn't seem like there's any fractures in the walls from the cave-in.
Maybe I'll look in my book and see if the runic item is in the book.
You can attempt.
Yeah.
As you start flipping through the book, what do you bid?
The book.
Yeah, as you bid the book, and you start seeing runes that you can... you start matching runes. It's going to take you some time to figure out what they say because there's a lot of them. But you start, using your intelligence and trying to figure out. There are some sort of runes of protection you can tell, but you don't know what they mean yet. It's going to take time to translate them.
These runes are runes of protection. Maybe, Cersei, maybe you could help. Do you know?
She'll come forward. I don't speak rune speak. But as she walks forward and is with you, S76 standing next to this thing, no change in the runes or the thrumming. It's consistent now, and it also almost like goes to the background after a while. It's still there, but not as prevalent. Like it's whatever happened has happened. Like the lights came on or something. And she looks down at between your all's feet and this baton.
Potencia, what about you? What do you think about all of this?
Give me the rune. Give me the gem.
No.
Develop, whatever it is.
Maybe you could look inside yourself and see if there's something.
Now you're on the edge with Planton. In the center of the room, in this circle of runes, where the gem is, you see S76 and Cersei standing next to it. There's the door you came in, which is sort of rubble and such. You can still go in there. And then there's a door across the room past the runes. Welcome to OSR. It's all about your decisions.
What other choice do we have?
Is there another room?
Yeah.
Can
There's
we?
a room where you came from. You could have gone right, or you could cross this room and go into the other room.
Well, perhaps we should do some exploring before we get too ahead of ourselves.
He says there's a relic that we need to get out.
Yeah, but maybe there's a way and a sequence of things is what I'm trying to sell you.
There's another fish I know. Is there any heat coming off of?
You can tell there's an ambient heat coming from the runes as you're sitting there and you're watching as you'd bid. You see that the runes have heated up. They've maintained a temperature though, but that thrumming was them heating up. Perhaps it's the magic coming off them. They are, to the touch, they're warm, but they're not hot. However, you can tell there's a lot of energy built up in them.
And if there's...
If you want to try the door, you can. I think I may... You try the door, and if that does not work, I will pick this up and see. The Great One shall protect me.
Is the door locked?
No. You can walk directly through it. It's just a portal. There's no door in it. It's a doorway.
Can we see the other side from where we're standing?
No, it's twisted in such a way with this weird technology. You have to literally walk into it, or technology, weird architecture.
Because
Like,
I am.
it doesn't look like a door that's ergonomic for people to walk through and carry shit. You literally have to like slide around it.
Are there any other objects in the room that we're in?
Nope.
Just this one object.
Yeah.
And the book said it was kind of a protection spell.
As far as you could tell.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't look very long, but yeah, it's definitely.
You could attempt to translate it. It will take you hours.
Yeah, but I generally think it's a protection spell. I mean,
of some sort.
If you want to risk it, I'm gonna stand here by the back of the room and see how far you get.
Is this the doorway you came in?
Yeah, the doorway I came in.
Yep. And what about you, Ham? You're muted.
You muted yourself.
You muted yourself.
I'm good where I'm at.
Are you next to Planton, or are you on the other end, or are you in the center?
I'm on the other end.
Okay, so you're next to the next door. You can tell it's just a really sharp angle. You could slide through. Just standing there, you can't see in the other room, but there's nothing blocking your way. It's just a very sharp angle.
The one thing before we get started, what if there's something in the other room, in the rat room, that I have to do, or one of us has to do, while you do this? Maybe it's the same time thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds to decide what you're doing next. Because the air in this room in this dungeon will eventually run out.
It is. Go ahead with your.
I will. Do I need to bid?
No, you can just do. Depends on what you're doing.
I'll reach down and pick up the tube.
As you do, the runes ignite. The rest of you see a blazing inferno explode up from the runes. This is a lot of damage.
I am going to
make a brawn if you want to take it on the chin, or a grace roll. Ken will roll me a d10. Hulk will roll me a d10. For a moment, S76, you can just see in the dark as you grab onto this thing, holding it, and somehow, everywhere you look, it's as though all of the lights are on. And then the fire comes. As Circe screams, "Ah!" Her hair just emulates.
Roll a 1.
OSR. 1.
Yeah,
What does OSR
I knew that was happening. I knew that was going to.
Old school revival.
Yeah.
It's old school gaming, where it really is about your guys. You know, you're playing your characters, you're being clever, but some things are just how they are.
Yeah.
Like there's a well, it's full of acid, and it's like if you get in the acid, you fucking die. Like that's OSR. All right, what'd you roll, Ken?
9. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. Perhaps that was the wrong move.
Perhaps that was the wrong move.
Okay. So I have 4 successes.
Okay. That's what you got?
Yeah, because I've did all of my proficiencies, and I don't think any of my I did 2 ninja gear, and I don't think any of my abilities will give me successes.
All right. As this fire, this arcane fire erupts and burns, starts catching your flesh on fire. You feel that holding onto this thing as you feel a push from Circe as she will give her bid and final breath to you because she failed miserably and took way more damage than she has. As she pushes you, you see like her skeleton and her eyes like pop out of her head and she just falls into dust that's immediately burned in this inferno that then just turns white hot, literally. As she pushes you out, you are on fire. You take 5 plot armor of 5 damage, which is half of what you normally take since you beat the threshold. As you are on fire, rolling whoop, 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 next to you guys. Do you guys help put him out?
Yeah.
Or what?
Why
All right,
not?
tell me how.
Well, I don't use the Thergic, the pack. I make sure that doesn't get close to him.
I take off my mage's robe and just put it over him.
Thank you. As whoop, 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 you see Planton like smoking a cigarette over here, eating a bagel. As the mage puts you out, the room goes dark. There is the smoldering runes, which you can barely see in here with that light, that slowly fade into complete and utter darkness, save for just through the cracks in the other rooms of blue and purple light. Clutching this in scorched hands, S76, you see perfectly.
Okay. So this will help me be
As he's
the great one.
smoldering and like scales falling off his body and shit.
And in all fairness,
You're doing pretty
technically,
good. You
yeah.
had the prayer. You had
yeah,
prayers.
I know that's because it
Yeah.
used up all of that, and I only took technically 1 piece of damage.
I love it. As describe that as you stand up.
So you see me stand up, and like it looks like I'm singed, but literally I just kind of knock the singes off.
As like this layer of skin of scales rolls off, and you all can see in this ambient light, his scales are pretty much unscathed.
That's impressive.
I told you the Great One would protect me.
You apparently need that kind of protection.
He will protect me, so then therefore I can do his bidding.
Well, then after you, sir.
As you all delve deeper into the dungeon, and we will continue this next time.
I
You
almost
guys are
did. Okay.
Go on.
I almost did Mantle of the Chosen, which would have eaten that last damage too.
Oh, nice.
So I would have been perfectly fine.
As you guys are about halfway through this, although you have the Waystone, we could finish this module with one other session because there's an aftermath, or we can move on. Getting the Waystone is one of the big things to do. If you're able to get it, it makes the rest of the dungeon much easier. But you know, there's definitely more that goes on. Okay, so everyone gets an advancement to advance. you lost Cersei, which doesn't matter at this point, but it will if we do the second session to finish it. This adventure is supposed to be 1 to 2 sessions. At least that's how I wrote it. She matters in the second half, but it just helps you. She can also hurt you. If you're using ttrpg, she can be a real bitch because pretty much everything has, you have to roll twice and take the worst when it comes to ttrpg.
Her brother's going to be pissed.
Oh, indeed. And if we do part 2, then we will find a new character who happens to be also escaping and in the rebel.
How convenient.
All right. Thank you guys for playing. This has been DreadLore. A Feint of Heart is the adventure location, which you can find on Drive-Thru RPG, or you can just ask us and we will send it to you via newsletter. DreadLore.com. You can find all that stuff. I wanted to thank Couchfire Media for all the switching and the artwork and the streaming sexiness. I want to thank the music peoples. That's all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt. You can find them literally everywhere, and you should add them to your social media videos. It's pretty cool stuff. I want to thank the Patreon peoples. That's Ember Alaria / Nostalgic, Natalia Cline, Daniel Holker, and Tim Roberts. You can join the Patreon, patreon.com/DreadLore. It really helps us out, keeping the stream going and such, and improving our equipment. You can also buy us a coffee. That's KOFI. It's under DreadLore. Yes, we can thank Trois Replay Productions. We don't really know what they do, but they're just around for us. I want to thank our cast: Daniel Holker, The Drizzle, Ken, Howl, Andrea Elliott-Johnson on this episode of DreadLore. Also, just note that the adventure module or location is actually system agnostic, meaning you can run it with D&D, with D6, D10, etc., if you want to do that.
But why would you?
But why would you? And who's our sponsor tonight?
Colonoscopies.
Thank you so much, Colonoscopies.
Life-saving things.
We will get you when we have to.
Yeah, you better
From the
get
anus
your
to the
colonoscopy.
cecum,
If it's your turn, you better go do it.
Subscribe today, soldier. See you guys. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.